Righto, Hodgie. Sydney take on Essendon. It is Luke Parker's 250th. We all remember what happened in round 9 at the SCG where he mocked Dylan Shield. They're going no good. We know that. Their pressure has been really poor, worst in the comp. In fact, worst, I think, on record since 2010 for them. AFL is reporting that. And they need something to get them going. Footballers have long memories. What should they have in store, if anything, for Luke Parker this weekend?
Oh, look, he's hoping that he comes out. It's a 250. It's a nice game for him. He gets 30 touches. They have a nice win, and he goes and celebrates with his teammates and his family. Essendon, they've got to make a stand, and this is the perfect time. Sometimes when you're having a bad season, a disappointing season, and you let a few people down internally and externally, like Essendon have this year, you're just looking for something to jump on. This is the perfect thing. This bloke had a crack at your teammates. This bloke had a crack and was calling him as if he ducked his head and second-guessed and not courageous. That's as big as insult as you can get on a footy field between opposition players. I'll be showing that vision pre-game. I'll be showing it in the team meeting on a Thursday. I'll be showing it pre-game. Yep. I'll be saying, make sure, don't go and do anything silly. Like in today's game, you can't go and do dumb stuff to get suspended. But making sure that every time you run past him, he knows you're there. Anytime he's getting the ball, you tackle him, you bring him to ground. Just to show him that we're not ducking our head. Yes, it was one act. Everyone does it at some time. But I'll be making sure that it's the toughest game that he's played in his 250th. Make sure that he notices that next time they play Essendon, they're not going to get walked over. And if he ever disrespects a teammate like that again, we're going to go at him.
So you've been involved in big rivalries, yourself against Essendon and the Geelong games and all the finals that you've played in. Did you use stuff like that? Sounds like you did.
100%.
So you've used articles and you've put them up around the change rooms and showed vision before?
Motivation. The biggest thing you can get from a footballer, what I found along, is passion. You bring out the passion.
In Port Adelaide games.
You hit them personally, so they second guess, or you have a go against their courage, or have a go against them as a person. And then previous history. And that's the biggest thing that I've found. So a good example of going into 2014 grand final against Sydney. Sydney atop the table were favourites to win that day. The day before, Clarko's speech was all about what they did to us in 2012. Remember back to that day. How did you feel? How embarrassed were you? You had your family there. What was it like after the game? Watching them sing the song. And then to finish with, your mate's gone up there. 2 years ago, you played a loser grand final with Bud. Now he's trying to take that premiership medal off you, just like Sydney did 2 years ago. You don't reckon we'll fight up? We're walking out of that meeting. It's amazing if you can hit the personal side of things. And this is a coach saying it to you. So if there had been an all-in brawl, you would have known why. It would have been Clarko's fault. But this was a coach understanding his players, knowing that if you hit them where it hurts, right at the heart, right the personal, emotional side of them, they'll do anything when they need to, and that's how you can get the best out of them. So if I was Ben Rutten, I'd be showing that this week. I'd be showing them saying, if you're going to make a stand, this is the perfect time. And don't go and fight, don't go and do anything dirty, but go and stand up for yourself. Show your supporters that you do have some grit, you do have a bit of courage, and you're not going to back down against this side. And a bloke who did that to you earlier this year.
I love it. I've got goosebumps listening to it. Magnificent insight. And then I guess I so vividly remember that 2014 grand final because you just got over us in the prelim. So you're sitting at home with football depression just watching it. But for you to execute it fairly, you're right. It could have gone over the top and it could have been all in brawls. But the roughhead Hanbury tackle and the aggression that you showed. So it was a credit to your group to be able to take that motivation, those instructions, and then execute it fairly, and they were so rattled in the first 5 minutes of that game.